Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Welcome again to this segment of the Oregon Voters Digest. I'm Bruce Broussard, your host, and by George, I hope you're enjoying this beautiful weather we're having here in the Pacific Northwest at this point in time. But as you know, I've got to get right down to the facts. We just have a limited amount of time, and we're just fortunate today to what we're going to do. We're going to have the president of the NAACP of Portland, Oregon, who's here with us today, and he's going to give us an update, give the community an update, and the state an update, and the whole 9 yards and whatever, an update as to what has been transpiring with his times for the last time he's been on the show, and where he's going, and whatever interest he wants to talk about. So hey, let's get right down to facts here real quick. Like bang, Posey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Bruce. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, doing a good job.
I'm becoming a regular on your program.
No, it's not a regular. It's the issue.
Yes.
Okay. The people want to know the issue.
It's not personal.
And I'm constantly telling them if you volunteer and go on and join, you can do that. We keep doing that. I keep doing that during the Miller show.
Sure.
But the fact of the matter is that it's quite a task, and it's not an easy task.
No.
But the community need to thank you for being sitting in that seat. And then hopefully they will respond, if you will, by i.e. if they got some issues, i.e. issues that affects the community, they can call you.
Sure.
But on the other hand, if they would join, that would be even good, because you need that support too, right?
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
good. So with that, why don't we just go on, get right on? What happened this last time since we chatted?
Oh wow, man!
Give me a little update. I know you did a lot of things. What are some of the
things,
highlights? What's some of the highlights you did?
Well,
like the office up.
I'll try to run through it chronologically.
Yeah, sure.
If I could a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't endorse candidates, by the way, but we're very fortunate to have people on our team now who have some gravitas.
Okay.
For example, just last month, the second vice president of our local branch got elected to be the chair of the Democratic Party of Oregon.
Of Oregon?
Of Oregon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
First black person.
Well,
and them Democrats, boy, so
we got to have her on. I got to give her a call. I'm going to give her a call.
Yes. And we're fortunate that she is also the second vice president of our current branch.
Of the NAACP?
Of the NAACP.
The Portland branch?
The Portland branch of the NAACP.
Wow, that's awesome.
And she's also our membership chair. So people have problems with the
Who is this person?
Her name is Dr. Rosa Colquitt.
Boy, I
Doctor.
Yes, I do know. She's good people.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Wow.
And
is there a phone number that she might be?
Her phone number.
Just share with us.
Well, we're trying to.
NAACP?
Yeah. Actually, the phone number is listed on a website, and I don't have it in front of me right now.
Just share the website.
Okay. Well, it's PDXNAACP.org.
Okay.
And you get on there, you get all the information and
Colquitt again, right?
Colquitt, yes.
Colquitt.
Yeah.
Dr. Colquitt.
Rosa Colquitt.
Colquitt.
Yeah.
Membership chair.
Membership chair. Second vice president.
Wow. And second vice president.
Of the current branch.
The current branch.
Yeah.
Oh,
seriously.
wow.
She's off the chain.
Kudos. But you made that happen.
Well, I don't know. I can't.
You made that happen.
I can't claim credit for that.
You got quite a board there.
No, actually,
I like it. It's good.
Actually, she's one of the hardest working people I've ever met in my life, man.
Wow.
This lady, she went after it. Did nobody give it to her?
Wow.
So she had quite a struggle getting it, wrestling out of the hands of traditional people who don't think we can do anything as black people. She did a. She did a masterful job. I guess what people really don't understand, first of all, politics is not being bad.
Right.
And it's really a vocation. If you really want to be in politics, you have to learn this stuff.
We've done that, both of us.
Yeah. You have to, you get in there and you learn. And you make expenditures and you put your time and energy, but there's the nuances of trying to get yourself elected.
Right.
It's a vocation. It's not something that just about anybody can do. You understand what I'm saying? So this lady, 20 years or so with government, working with those Democrats, and I'm by default a Democrat, but I ain't always agreed with the Democrats. And in fact, when I ran, people don't know I ran once upon a time, 2004.
Oh yeah.
I ran as an independent. It was not people. The Green Party actually supported me back in 2004, and so. Anyway, make a long story short, this woman is dynamic.
You got quite.
She's got real skills.
Good.
So, and we've got the majority of our committees filled, chairs that is.
Awesome.
And of course, let me just
go through those if you don't mind.
Well, I want to go through the ones that just most recently.
Okay, good.
Most recently, we have a young lady by the name of Cheryl Means. She's a transplant from New Jersey, PhD type, who went through the AXL program. AXL program is our youth program, traditional youth program that brings in our young people and gets them directed. Okay. And really, the secret of why that particular program is important, because it is the training ground for future leadership in the NAACP.
Wow.
So this young lady has come on, and she actually works for the city of Portland, and she went through the AXL program, and by golly, that's how she got to be a PhD. Using that inspiration. So anyway, she's on, it's new, and I'm excited about her because at the end of the day, Bruce, old dudes like you and me, we got to get off the scene and let these young people come in.
That's where we had to go.
Anyway,
you said,
this young lady is outstanding. I would tell anybody out here. And what her challenge is now is figuring out a way to work in cooperation and collaboration with all the other youth programs that are going on here. And in fact, she's reached out to the Vancouver branch, and they're collaborating. So we got a little what they call synergy going and trying to work on a platform to get these young people lined up. We were at Noni's program, the BEAM program, the Black Excellence program. I don't know if you all know Noni and her program, but. She used to be the chair of our education department at the NAACP, but her program is well documented and supported throughout the community. So we were able to give them a nice sponsorship through our NAACP. And I was sort of, this is the first time I've actually really, actually experienced that program to the degree that I really got to know some of the young people. And it's fascinating to watch these young people and their aspirations. So there was a young man there a young man who wanted to be a nurse. He was just as shy, couldn't maintain any eye contact and that kind of thing. And that's the beauty of the AXL program. It teaches you how to look somebody in the face, how to get your resume together, how to present yourself, how to develop confidence. And so I was excited to see that the NAACP get their feet in here and try to do some things.
That's really neat.
Raise up our young people.
Really neat.
So anyway, so that's one.
Okay.
The other one I'm very excited about, we have not done very much yet, is our fundraising chair. And that's going to be key because, my family tells me I know how to spend money, but they're not so sure I know how to make money. So I'm trying to make money.
You gotta remember. AGC, remember that? Remember those days when you and I
but my point is that we're trying to bring together, for the last several years, the NAACP locally has not had a Freedom Fund dinner. And we bring in speakers and you raise money and it helps, fuel your budget and that kind of thing. This year, we're working hard to get a Freedom Fund dinner and have a dynamic speaker in and, do the things. Most of the nonprofits do that kind of thing. But the last couple of years, we have not done that. And, of course, some of that has to do with COVID.
Politics.
And this is not my strong suit.
I understand.
So we're trying to put together a team to do that. And chair of that committee now is Paul Knowles Jr.
Junior? Okay, yeah.
Junior.
Yeah, Junior.
Right young man, entrepreneur, good name recognition.
Yeah.
And so we're
That's good.
putting that team together. And I'm very happy to say that we were able to get Kimberly Moreland, who is a historian, to run our health committee. Kimberly Moreland is well known in the community, used to work for Prosper Portland, has her own consulting business now, and she's going to be a dynamic asset to our program.
And what is she doing now?
Well, she has her own consulting business. Okay. She writes grants, and she she does. I like this. She does. But we have we are inherited in this administration a Susan G. Komen breast cancer education program, which she is going to be trying to pull together. And the irony of it is the NAACP typically is not a program sponsor. In other words, we don't typically host programs. We remain the education and advocacy. But this program, there's these women in this organization, they don't want to see that Susan G. Komen program go south. So they're rallying themselves around to build that program and reach out and so forth. And so I'm anxious to see how that's going to work out. So that's a beautiful situation. We've also decided to give about 25 scholarships. I think it's 20 or 25 scholarships to the tune of $2,500 to black kids going to college this year.
Neat.
So hopefully those folk will appreciate the level of commitment we have to young people in that education. The chair of that committee is Renee Anderson, a renowned person in this community who has been a stalwart on black education, and she's sits on several educational boards along with Michael Grice, Michael Grice, and he's got the Airway Science program and that kind of thing. And then I want to just mention on this program, which saddens me, a lot of people listening to this program will know Pat Dobbins.
I know Pat.
Pat passed.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
She passed about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it's a sad proposition. I was shocked. I didn't get a chance to go to her funeral. I didn't know she had passed.
Down in Bethel.
No, she had Bethel AME.
Bethel AME.
Yeah. And so she was a stalwart, and that's a big loss to our community, because this is one lady that spent a lot of time trying to build our community and et cetera, et cetera. So you don't know when you're going to leave the planet, but whatever you're going to do, you need to go ahead and do it. So she's gone, and our newest chair is a woman named Amber Ataveros. She is our political action chair. Just recently, she got approved at our last executive committee meeting.
Good.
Long background dealing with government agencies. Has some legislative chops, knows what the legislature does, knows how to get in there and bring us back the information so we can have sometimes in our communities, we never see who's at the table, let alone being at the table.
That's right.
And the old quote is, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So this young lady, I'm very excited about her being the chair of our political action committee. I had a tough time getting a political action committee. The last one I got was the Ukrainian guy that they beat me up about.
Who was that?
His name was Vadim. Yeah, he was a guy who was I was trying to get in because he was a lawyer. And we had some people out here in your audience that was really beating up on me bad because, he's a white guy, a lawyer, and Ukrainian, and he opposed this reorganization, and there was a couple people out there trying to say he was a racist, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't find that to be true. And I just want to emphasize to people who are listening to this program, when you call somebody a racist, you better be able to prove it unequivocally. Because it's akin to hollering wolf when there ain't no wolf out there. And of course, when the real wolf comes, you're liable to get eaten up. So we can't cheapen the idea of calling a person a racist when the record says something different. So we better be real clear very precise, and it should be unequivocal, undeniable that that person is a racist before you call them a racist. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I agree I agree totally. That's what I'm saying. I was very interested in what you just shared because the idea was that I'd love to have him come on, and because he's been very active in the city and on the issues and whatever. And that's good.
Yeah.
That's
But
good.
I think people.
He's still part of the NAACP?
Yeah, he's still part of the NAACP, but
Okay.
I couldn't convince my board to bring him on, and I'm the NAACP. If it's anything, it's a democracy, and one person don't run no show. I mean, even though I'm the president, this and that, it's the board didn't see eye to eye with me, and they had the votes,
I got you.
and so I had to go a different way. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as I often say, and so I use whatever influence I have to get people. And the thing I'm most proud about is people tend to think that whether they agree with me or disagree with me, I'm pretty honest with what I'm trying to do, and what you see is what you get.
Well, James, in all due respect, I've known you through the years, the aspect of it, and you're a focused kind of a person, and sometimes it gets a little irritated when you're trying to deal with folks, knowing for a fact if you go this way, you're going harm's way, right? And we were trained, if you will, that you have to plan things. But that comes with the turf. But you're sitting in the seat now, and just like what you just shared from the standpoint, hey, I've got a board. They voted it. They didn't vote it. Right. So you moving on.
Well, the problem is with us old guys, it's we come from a different era. I mean, my daughter's kind of cooled me down. She says, "Dad, you can't run the NAACP like you ran workhorse construction." My daughter says, you was the high boss at Workhorse because you paid the bills, you got the contracts, and you blah 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 blah, and the buck stops with you. That's not necessarily the way it is with the NAACP. Everybody has a voice in that thing. Everybody should come to the table, and you can't superimpose what you want to do based upon.
But it's still, at the end of the day, the buck still stops.
Well, the buck kind of stops with me. That's the way they be hitting me. They think I'm the great kahuna, as it were. But in fact, I'm just trying to be someone who shepherds this thing
and have a good organization,
so we can get some
community
results.
Really needs
so we can get some results.
Exactly.
You can say anything you want to say, but at the end of the day, if at the end of my tenure, we've gotten some positive things moving in our community. We've lived up to the mission of the NAACP. We've restored the brand. We have some integrity. Everybody across the board, whether it be the public officials or whether it be the lowest person in the community, will have some appreciation for and values for what we do at the NAACP. So, so I think we're making progress, Bruce. We're making some progress, and we got some things to do. One of the things that we're trying to do is bringing our internal membership together. So we're having a sort of retreat tomorrow, as a matter of fact, which we'll have our executive body to talk about how we best work together. And guess what I'm most proud about is we're going to have the manager for the City of Portland's Procurement Bureau facilitating this joint. I mean, he's the big dog over there at the City of Portland. He's going to actually facilitate our whole meeting to bring our group together. So that's going to be exciting. A couple nights ago, and I'm surprised that you're not aware of it, is that we had a candidates forum for the city, for the Multnomah County and the school board. They have an election.
Yes, right, exactly.
Right around the corner. And none of the other agencies wanted to bring the candidates together. And so we believe it or not, our Veterans Affairs chair, I mean, he has a cover, by the way. He brought our community together, got a hold of the candidates, did a virtual forum so everybody could ask questions and answer questions about that. You've been to so many of them things, but the NAACP sponsored that joint. And so,
Good.
you know, we're very excited about what he's doing, and that's a part of this political action piece that we need to do. We need to be out here trying to make sure people understand, you know, what's at stake.
Yeah.
When they vote, we don't endorse any candidates per se, but it was good to be able to air what the issues are and share what the candidates' perspectives were. So that's
good.
That was very
good.
good.
That was a
First one for this particular thing, and of course,
that's good.
of course, that's important because you know a lot of stuff spins around who's in power, who's in control. So the NAACP had a chance to share those views and those issues and those concerns with the broader community. We have it. We recorded it, and hopefully we can get it back, get it up, and so people can do it.
In fact, we can even do it here for you.
It'd be good for you to do it because nobody else has done it that I know of.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So,
you got it.
Well, we'll be able to do that.
Bring it. I'll make sure that both formats it right. Got
sure. So in the day, I'm doing this chronologically.
Okay.
I was out there on the streets. We're working with Metro, the city of Portland, several other groups, Solve, to clean up MLK.
Really?
Yeah. You know, that's why I was out here. Got all my gear on.
You got your
my
gear?
gear on. I mean, but I had a Solve vest on. And
okay, cool.
And I want to give Solve some props because really they're trying to keep our city kind of halfway straight. They've been out here for many years doing it. And, you know, this is my brainchild of cleaning up MLK. MLK, you know, it carries the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And from my perspective, it ought to be one of the cleanest, most well-kept streets in the city. Wouldn't you agree? I think you would agree. And so we started this campaign. We put brochures out and wanted to talk.
And that's the NAACP.
Well, we're one of the sponsors. We're leading it out, and of course, Solve does the whole community, and there are other people involved in it. But Metro, in fact, Lynn Peterson was out there with me this morning, along with Michelle DePass on the school board. She was out there with us this morning, and so. You know, we're trying to be a catalyst, as it were.
Good.
Catalyst for making things better. And you know, sometimes I get a little disturbed, as it were, because people keep throwing rocks. And most of those folk who was throwing rocks, when I go back and look at their performance on the ground, they're only good at throwing rocks. I ain't seen them do too much, you know, beyond throw rocks.
Well, you staying focused.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to say, you know, get in here and join us. If you don't like what we're doing or how we're doing it, come in and help us change the game. Let's, you know, you pay your dues, you get in there, get on these committees, share your ideas, share your concerns, and let's work together. You know, I'm about trying to work together, and I'm not trying to be exclusive of anybody. I don't want to try to prevent anybody from getting out here doing the thing. So that's kind of where we are. We have a long way to go. If you look at our website, it's not what I think it ought to be. We are still lacking a criminal justice chair. Anybody out there who has experience in the criminal justice system, who wants to get in, help us build a criminal justice program in which we can help solve some of those issues. For example, about a month ago, I went to an event for former Governor Kate Brown. And what people don't understand about Kate, she was not a perfect governor, but man, she pardoned several of our people who probably needed to be pardoned. She commuted the sentences of some people that needed to be commuted, i.e. those young brothers who were smoking marijuana, who were selling a little marijuana, and their entire lives have been upended by the criminal justice system. You know, when you're a black person and you get a mark against you, it's not like you just getting a mark against you, because you had a hard time before you even got into the criminal justice system. But when you get a criminal justice tag on you, your life is damn near over. Excuse me for cussing on the thing. Did I say damn? Is that a cuss word? Yeah, you know. Well, anyway, you know what I mean. It angers me because those brothers out here were selling marijuana 15, 20 years ago, and now we got a marijuana shop on every corner.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
White people were making money off stuff we were getting going to prison for. Don't make sense to me. And so that's a real concern for me. And I'm on your program talking about this. People see me and they say, that boy, that James Posey is angry. Yeah, I'm angry because these young cats, they're taken away from our family. They're taken away from our substance and I mean, they think about all these black men that's gone to jail and their families have suffered as a result of smoking weed or selling a little weed or whatever it is, and now their whole life is up. And you know what it does? It trickles all the way down through the family, generationally. When you take a man out of his family, or a woman for that matter, I don't want to sound sexist, because if you do the same thing for a woman, it just disrupts their whole existence and it destabilizes our community. I don't know if people get that. That's why we have so many issues, so many problems, so many pathologies, and so many things, because our whole culture has been disrupted by a system that is pretty much bedrock racism. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, one of the reasons why I'm involved in this NAACP, it is a positive response to the racism that we experience here in our community.
Good job, good job. Well, this is great. I mean, I really appreciate it, and I'm sure that the viewing audience will appreciate the fact that you laid out, if you will, a solid plan and an organizational aspect of it that they can participate in, and all that value is going to be coming to the community, back to the community. So it's very, very important. I was going to ask you, the other thing I was going to ask you, now what about the office? A couple of minutes on the office in terms of the open and all that kind of stuff.
Sure. We're open 3 days a week now, and we're open pretty much on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, the Lloyd Center isn't open, the hours are weak. In other words, they only open at 11 and they close at 7 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So we have a guy named Jeff Strange. He's our assistant treasurer. He comes in there pretty regularly on those hours. We also have our treasurer. Her name is Taskanga Davis.
Okay.
She's fantastic, by the way. And this lady comes in there, and typically people want to know what we're doing with the money. You know how you people about y'all people want the money. But our books are open to anybody who wants to see how we're spending our money, how much money we got. That could be dangerous to some people, but we have to have open transparency about where the money goes, how we're spending it. In our case, because they don't trust you people with those dollars like they do other people. So I'm saying, anybody wants to see how we're doing the money in NAACP, come in, talk to our treasurer. She'll show you her stuff. She ain't giving you no paper so you can take home and run away, but you can there and do your calculations there in the office when she's there, et cetera, et cetera. Any board member will be able to access it through our website, et cetera. So, I mean, that's a piece. We're not where we need to be in terms of our office, in terms of its accessibility. But we're working on it. Every day we meet, every day we have some new changes. We cleared out a bunch of the craziness stuff that was in there. And the Lloyd Center itself is not populated to the degree it should be. And so we're working with the Lloyd Center management to make sure that we can support them and they support us. And, we're the issues around security, people breaking into cars and that kind of stuff has still been somewhat of a problem. So we're working with them, that kind of thing. And
What about your meeting area? You have a
the meeting area is pretty much the same meeting area. Yeah, I think it's sufficient. We still operating dual virtual and present meetings. So you can still go virtually on our website and come to a meeting. Our meetings is, it's the fourth Sunday of every month.
Fourth Sunday.
Fourth Sunday of every month. It's, our meetings are from 3 to 6 on the fourth Sunday of every month. General meeting, that is. We have an executive meeting the second Tuesday of every month from 6 to 8, so people can access.
And space-wise, how many will accommodate?
You missed our opening. You missed our, you missed
I saw the visual.
inaugural. Yeah, you
I saw the visual.
Saw
Oh,
the
yeah.
visual.
I
Well,
saw it.
you know,
Beautiful. It was good.
Yeah, we could go. You know, we can use some of those empty spaces next door if we got huge enough crowd. But we're accommodating. Sometimes we actually took the whole hall out there for my.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Good.
took the hall.
Yeah. I saw that.
People can come, and it was we can expand. We have the capabilities, and then there's other stuff, that places where we could go if we really got bigger. For example, Legacy Hospitals offered us space over there. The mall itself, some of those empty places where the Sears and Marshalls, where we do space there. There's plenty of space if we wanted to expand. If we get a big crowd, so
Okay.
the space is not an issue right now.
Let's talk a little bit about membership and people wanting to join and whatever. And talk a little bit.
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. Well,
How do they access it?
yeah, they can they can get online, and I always like to show people they can get online at PDX.
The PDX.
NAACP.org. One word. You can get on there and do that. You can sign up there. And of course, NAACP.org national. You go right to their website. They say join, and then you designate our branch here locally, which is 1120B. 1120B. It's only
1120B.
1120B. It's listed. It's the only real Portland branch. When you put in your zip code for your thing, and it'll tell you which branch.
I see.
So
that's part of the web.
Yeah, that's part of the web page and so forth. And then they can come by our office. We actually got physical, applications right there in the office itself. So people want to write a check and attach their application. We'll send it to National. Just truth be told, National's kind of slow, and the communication between our branch and National isn't what it ought to be. I got to figure that out, because we need to have a responsive, a more responsive, association with the National. So, but it's working, and we got a lot of things. We're going to be out at the Good in the Hood. I mean, I already signed up. We're going to have a little, group of people. We're going to be at the Good in the Hood. We have our tables there, and I'm still trying to get hooked up with the Van Boord Jazz Festival. We're going to try to be engaged with the community in a more deliberative way than we have in previous years. So people will know who we are, where we, what we're doing, that kind of thing.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, so
Good deal.
that's kind of So the other thing I really want to talk about is, I don't know if you heard recently, and people out in your audience probably already know, your boy, Phil Knight just gave this community $400 million through Rikiah Adams and them. $400 million. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you heard about it. Okay, well then, how you gonna spend all that money, Bruce?
Well, he's a very responsible person.
Oh.
As long as you tell him exactly what you're going to spend the money for.
Okay,
if you ask for the money, you got to make sure you tell him specifically what you're going to do with the money.
Well, it's a real quandary. How can you hate against $400 million?
He's a philanthropist. The man is giving back. He benefited from Oregon,
Oh, did he now?
Yes,
Did he now?
Very much. The man did a lot. He did a lot for this state.
Yeah. Okay.
So no problem. It's good.
It's $400 million, and I had to think about it. I went and looked it up. You can Google it. You can look at all the black billionaires in America. Actually, probably in the world, they don't make up a quarter of what this guy's wealth is. He's somewhere around 60 billion. When you add up all his Nike and plus his personal stuff, he's probably around 60 billion. And I think if you add up Beyonce, Jay-Z, Tyler Perry, and Oprah, they don't come close.
Well, but my point, you got some.
You got some. I'm just saying,
some.
And listen, the other piece, $400 million is triple the Nationals NAACP's money on hand. Triple.
Okay.
You know, 'cause I think I only have about $85 million on hand for the national, and that's 1,500. There's thousands of branches across the whole nation. This concentrated amount of $400 million for the so-called albino area is the biggest ever in the whole nation that I can envision. I've never seen anything like that. So I don't really know what that means, to be honest with you. And I don't know where the NAACP fits in that. Probably nowhere. But, you know, listen, the Bible says too much is given, much is expected. So I'm expecting a lot out of these dollars when they hit the ground in our community to change some of these negative things that have happened. So,
well, it didn't recently. I'm sure you probably saw that where he was a prior, I think he was a prior president of the local Portland Trailblazers. The brother, he was a brother, and he did a profile of himself, a kind of a historical event piece aspect of it that happened in his life, if you will, and he got to be president of the Portland Trailblazers. And in fact, he's still at the Portland Trailblazers.
a brother.
He's a brother, and in fact, he was the guy that basically managed the Jordans.
Oh, Brand, yeah.
Brand.
Yeah, no, he's.
Do you see him?
Yeah,
Have you talked with him at all?
his name is Larry. I forget his name now.
Yeah, he's
Larry.
been on.
You might want to get him on. Larry.
But he's very open-minded.
Oh yeah.
wants
But
to
he's
contribute.
on that. He's on the board of that
I know.
new 400 million.
I know.
Million deal.
That's what I'm saying. You need to contact him.
No, you need to contact them. I mean, they know who I am. They know about the NAACP.
They don't know who you
Yeah,
are.
they do. They know.
If you don't know the cat I'm just talking about.
Yeah, I know
But
you're
you
talking
sitting
about.
in the chair of the NAACP.
Yeah,
you can use some of that
I would
money.
like for you to sit in this
Was
chair.
that?
You know, I want you to, because you got more ideas than I do about how to approach these.
No,
people. But let me just say,
I'm serious.
I'm serious too. I'm serious. Is we have a lane at the NAACP.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lane.
I like
you
what
know,
you
we
do.
have a lane. We do this business that we are supposed to. We have a national mandate to do certain things, and if anybody wants to help us, and it won't be like we won't be asking them. A closed mouth don't get fed. Trust me on that. I understand that principle. So you won't, because I won't be asking now. Whether we get it or not, that's another thing. But you know, it'll be because we need these monies. They know the work we've done. And all things being equal, if we can build our community based upon the work and what our mission is, we deserve to have some input in that area. Just recently, and this is controversial, and there's always controversy going on in the city, and I always seem to get myself all mixed up in these controversies. But, just recently there was about $4 million that were allocated prior to this whole discussion around this $400 million. There was $4 million that were supposed to be dispensed to the black community to support black businesses and so forth. And it was supposed to go to an organization called Reimagine Oregon. And
now, who was the money from?
Well, the money was from the city of Portland. It was
City of Portland.
Yeah, it was mandated to build black businesses 4 or 5 years ago. I think under Joanne Hardesty and so forth. And the money never got spent. The money.
Where's the money now?
Well, the money's still there. It's still there, available. And there was some effort on the part of a couple commissioners, 3 of them, as a matter of fact, to move it back into the general fund and to break it up, going to other places, and
what did they want? 3 other commissioners.
Yeah, it was 3.
Mingus. What about Mingus?
Mingus was one of the main ones that wanted to move that money somewhere else.
Move it somewhere else?
Yeah, move it somewhere else. Mingus was one of and I think he still voted to move it somewhere else. But as it turns out, they took another vote, and the money was voted to retain it into this Reimagine Oregon, which is ran by a very, very competent, capable individual named Justice Raji, and I put his record up against anybody. It was.
But don't get off the subject too fast, because Mingus is the only African American that's sitting on city council at this point in time.
And that was disturbing. That was a disturbing proposition for him.
Well, let's find out what his rationale is.
Well, I thought
I will give him a call.
Oh well, then when you just go ahead
and bring him in.
No, you just get on this
No,
you
just
know,
he may have some. I don't know. He may have a rationale for it.
yeah, he said
But
what his rationale. You know, he said well, it wasn't good enough for me.
I
You
heard you,
know,
but we need to know.
well, you know, I mean, you talk to him.
I'll talk
You
to
know,
him. I'll talk
I'll
to
try. You know, I think people have tried to talk
And
to
he
him.
needs to contact you.
Well, we've got some meetings set up and so forth. Yeah, so we will talk.
Okay.
But I think you're talking about community unity. This is one of the first examples
wow.
I've seen the
That's-
community come together to
Wow.
to shift that vote to where it needs to be.
Well, let's be right about this thing, because in all due respect, many people voted for him because he was an African American.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately,
and
yeah,
black business is an issue that's been an issue for many years.
Yeah,
and so that's a very important piece. If you
Yeah,
will,
well, you know,
to the community.
I always tell people, all skin don't mean you can.
Yeah,
you know,
right,
just because you
yeah,
have some hue, some melanin in your skin doesn't mean you're gonna be a black person for real.
That's right, yeah.
So, and I used to dodging around that people. Just because you have pigment in your skin doesn't make you really culturally.
No, but the
specifically a
reason,
black
but
person.
there are a number of people voted for him because he had the money.
I'm
And in
Lord
fact,
mercy.
if you look at one of the shows I just got through doing, I was hitting that pretty hard just recently.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Got me?
Yeah.
Because we go back, we built this country, way back in them days.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
anyway.
yeah, but I was
we'll
going to
get-
just share.
Good. Okay.
You know, and I remember when Joanne got elected and people were getting on me because I was voting for Joanne over another person, blah, 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 blah. And they were hitting on her because when she got in, she didn't immediately hire no black people. And I'm saying, well, you know, did no black people really bring her to the party? She hired the people who brought her to the party. And in the case of Mingus, in fact, not just Mingus, all of the city council are lacking black participation on their staff. Otherwise, that's why they get into trouble, because they can't talk culturally about what we as a community without having that input. So if you're going to talk to Mingus, I'm certainly going to share that sentiment with him.
Yeah,
If you
I am
really want to
too.
know what's going on in the
I'm
black
gonna do the same
community,
thing,
you better find somebody who can kind of pull your coattail about what's happening in this community, who's who and what's what. You know, I mean, let's just keep it straight. You know?
You make a good point, because, you know, for the years that we've been around, if you will, there's been many programs that were supposed to be designated, if you will, to blacks within the community to build them up, if you will, so they can eventually just graduate out. And in all due respect, when it comes down to all of a sudden they create these programs, but then when to implement it and get black folks involved and make them a part of the whole aspect of it, all of a sudden that was left out. Okay?
Well, Bruce, let's just keep it real here. You know, and I'm one of the people who's been around for a long time, and we know that many of these programs are designed to fail.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
That's the
they
point
put
of
them
it.
in pros. They
right.
slow walk
That's right.
them,
That's right.
even though they give you lip service about
That's
how
right.
they're going to do
That's
it. They
right.
figure out
That's
ways
right.
to
That's
make
right.
sure
That's right.
that these programs never get
That's
off
right.
the ground the way they're
That's
supposed
right.
to.
That's right.
I mean,
I agree.
over and over again, I've watched
seen it.
this over
I've
and over
seen it.
again.
I've seen it.
Prosper Portland, for example.
Yeah.
Prosper Portland, one of their main missions is to have economic development. In fact, if you look on their website, they've actually failed on their mission, using tax increment finances and all of that many years. So, and just recently, over the last several years, they've accentuated the problem. They've articulated there is a problem, but in terms of trying to turn that the problem that as black people we've experienced over these years, they've been a miserable failure.
That was PDC.
Well, you know, I mean,
You know what I'm
PDC,
saying?
whoever you can call whatever you want, you can call it. But I know
but I'm just saying
for us,
that was
it ain't.
initially. Then he went to process.
Yeah, so it baffles me that city council doesn't understand the history of how these programs have been, and for them to go make a vote that they're going to do something different with money that was designated for black people and watch it happen over again, it lets me know they don't really understand the history of where we've been with these programs and how we've been snookered for so many years. How many times we've had to go to these bureaucrats and beg them, and then they figure as many ways they can to stall us out, prevent us from doing stuff. It's been ugly, Bruce. It's been ugly.
Very ugly.
You know, and I'm one of the first ones to raise my hand and say I know, because I've been there. So anyway, the good thing is most reliable, most conscious black people hit the city council real hard And of course, the mayor, I said in a little commentary I did, the mayor's learned over the years, because it's taken him a little while to figure, figure it out. You know, he had the OJ on the job to figure out what was going on. So he came down on the right side this time, you know, and tried to broker a deal, and ultimately wound up to having 3 votes to keep the money in the hands of the black community. And the 2 outliers was Mingus and Gonzalez. Those
she was there too.
No, not she. Gonzalez,
no,
Renee
Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about, okay.
Rubio. She was on our side.
Okay.
She understood. I mean, she was very.
Renee Gonzalez.
Yeah, Renee Gonzalez was. You know, he
was with Mingus.
He was with Mingus, who really tried to throw the program that reimagined Oregon under the bus, and but the black community, phew. That's one of the rare times I've seen them actually all be on the same page.
Yes.
You know, to try to tell them, no, y'all can't do this. Historically, we know what this game is about. And so, anyway, ultimately, the money remains with the where it was designed. That was a victory. I like that.
That was good. That was good. And, you know, in all due respect, see, a lot of times what happens is that we see these black faces, if you will, and we don't vet them out as much. See, as a voter, we're not given the opportunity to vet.
Well, no. We have to call these people out in our community before they even get to the gate. You know, you got some of these. You got some of these people who promote themselves as black leaders who really don't have a clue, and they're more aligned with white folk than any white person that can be. You know, I mean, I used to be lying about that.
Sometimes, James, that's the only option that they have. You know?
No, that's a lie.
No, because they take it.
What do you mean? That's the only option.
No, my point is that you've got 2 people. One says no. You got a James Posey on one side, and another guy says, well, okay, we got the program here, but the folks who have the money say we want to do it this way. Then they go, what do you think about? And you say, no, I'm not. It has to go this way. This is
no, Bruce. Let me just be real clear.
I hear where you're coming from.
No, I'm just, you know, we living in an age now where people believe a lie, and you got this dude named Donald Trump. This dude, he couldn't be elected dog catcher based upon the kind of stuff he's done and how he's done it. And morally, you went to war, and you fought a war for all this democratic process to tell the truth and to be, you know, no one's above the law. You know, all this stuff you went to war for. This guy and those guys are surrounding him and making a mockery of that, and it's trickled down. That whole culture has trickled down to our local community. People will lie with impunity about anything and everything. You can't have that and have a civil society, Bruce. You just can't have it. And so we have to understand that there's a battle going on out here, and it has to do, the battle's against truth, dignity, respect, and those on the other side. You know, I don't want to sound like I'm some kind of, I mean, I got some kind of extreme issue on this, but I think there's something structurally going south on us in terms of a moral imperative in our community about telling the truth, being honorable, and not selling your soul for a few dollars. You know, 30 pieces of silver. You know, we can't sell our souls just to get some money, and our value stuff has gone haywire right here in our community. And black people are not immune from that, if you follow what I'm saying. We're not immune from wanting to see the almighty dollar and pump our chest out and act like we somebody based upon how much money we got, what kind of car we drive, how many suits we wear. We can't afford to do that. Black people can't afford to do that.
Well, let's put it this way: you've got a goal now. You're sitting in a seat that you can really affect change.
It's a hot potato, Bruce. It's a hot potato.
It's a lane. But so I look at it. I look like it as a lane. what you just shared with the public is that it's organized. You got the right people in the various slots, and the work is still has started yet. You still got to deal with it. But
I'm
you
only
can handle
3
it.
months in. I'm only 3 months.
Right.
I'm actually 4 months in now.
But you've done an excellent job. You got a lane.
Well, yeah,
you got a lane.
you know,
You just keep it going. And I'm sitting up here saying the Voters Digest, we're open to you. If you whoever these individuals that you have listed, whatever, if you want them to come on to educate the people about this, that, and the other, or fundraising, whatever.
Well, yeah,
Bruce.
Bruce. Let me just say, you know, this one of the services you can do is not just have James Posey on here.
Yeah,
hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, keep going.
You ought to identify 5 people and do a round table about these issues and let me be in the mix with those other 5 people and expand it out a little bit, because I don't have, you know, you got me on there because I'm a sucker. I'm going to be over here and do things. But, you know, you should expand it out, have broader concept, have some of them people who are throwing rocks at me. So we can deal face to face rather than me over here trying to do my thing.
You got your lane now. They specific. You just shared with them what you're doing.
They want to throw some rocks. Let's throw some rocks face to face. Let's get it on. As they say, if they want to really debate me about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it.
A good idea is to have Mingus.
Have him come in.
Have Mingus.
I would love to be able to sit with
Mingus.
He's an intellectual.
And Rene Gonzalez. He happens to be Hispanic, and in all due respect, he's part of that affirmative action thing.
Well, he's got Rubio. Carmen is, she's got some chops, man.
Oh, she's been around.
Yeah, she's been around.
She's been around.
So the program is to expand it out. Just don't have me over here running my chops. I run my chops all day long, but people need to have a broader perspective.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, they wanted to hear what we just talked about, what you came up initially. You told them what you've done, where you've been, and where you're going, and and the kinds of people that you have on board, like the board of the boards and this. That's a very important piece.
Well, listen to me on this. We have only begun to tap the broad range of talent that this community have. I'm gonna just be honest with you. For example, I'm trying to meet with some of the presidents of the university. Those people, in theory, are the intellectual ends of where we need to get information and plug that into how we get business done. The business, school of business, the school of architecture, the school of the history, all these things, all these resources of knowledge and how that plugs into our community. What's good is a university if it doesn't utilize that knowledge base to improve where we're going as a community. You know what I mean? So,
and Portland Public Schools now. I know you remember that. I mean, they've always had this record of quote that's been lacking. God! And they've got. How many African Americans are sitting on the school board?
Well, and listen. I hope they're feeling the heat. I hope the school board is feeling the heat, because at the end of the day, if things are going south in the school, they're going to say, well, I told you so. All them so-called inclusion programs and all these minorities on there, and still the needle has not been moved. Whew. I wouldn't want to have that on my on my resume. Here I am sitting on the school board, and we still got a 50% achievement gap between black and white kids at the end of the day. And it takes a long time to turn the ship around, but you got to make some. You got to do some things outside the box. You got to hold everybody accountable, and you can't dilly-dally with this stuff, because I don't know, people understand the concept that this is all cumulative, and if you're not going forward, you really are going backwards. And this is linear too, in terms of the space, the time we have in order to change some of these things, Bruce. So. I see it as an emergency. In fact, Bruce, you want to know the truth? You really want to know the truth? The house is on fire when it comes to our kids and their lack of education. The house is on fire. You listening to me?
Oh, hey. Look at the incarceration rate.
Yeah, the house is on fire. Now, we talk about this, we can be dispassionate and, oh, yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. No, this stuff is killing us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, again, like I said, you got quite a job and a task, and
Wait, hold, Bruce. So you're doing something wrong here. Let me tell you what you're doing wrong. You're doing something wrong.
I'm just responding to your lane.
I'm just saying
I'm
you're doing something
responding to
wrong.
your lane.
No. You're saying you. Are you emphasize you?
No. The president of the NAACP has quite a task.
I'm just saying.
I
want folks to understand.
Getting the word out.
I want people to understand. Like I told somebody the other day, my name is James, not Jesus. I can't turn the world. I'm trying not to save anybody. All I'm trying to do is while I'm in this seat, do the best job I can. Yeah. But it requires everybody.
I agree.
Everybody. And people who are listening to this thing here, get in there. Get in there and help us move this ball. Get in. Give us some money. Give us some time. Give us some energy. The office is open 3 days a week. The reason why? We don't have enough people to staff it. Come in and volunteer your time.
Okay, well,
come in and volunteer your time.
Okay,
give us some money. Yeah, they can put on one of these shirts and take a membership card. They can be a recruiter for me. Okay. I mean, they can be a recruiter. Every time you open your mouth, talk about the NAACP and give somebody an application.
Okay.
And we came in, we were about 250 people, and now we're almost close to 300. Okay. That's not good enough.
Okay. Is there a phone number?
The phone number. So again, on the website, they can call me. You can call me. I'll give my personal number, which is 503-936-0277. But we have a membership chair. I just shared with you the membership chair. I just shared with you our website. The best thing is this is the best thing. Can I tell you what the best thing is?
Email?
No, listen to me on this, because people be playing. I ain't playing. Best thing is to get online to the NAACP.org, get in there, go through their routine, put your credit card in there, and within an hour, no later than 2 days, you'll get a confirmation of your membership. You should do a screenshot of it or take a picture of it on your phone, send it to us directly on your phone, and we'll plug you in and we'll be able to confirm that you are a member like within 2 days.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. And so then in that process, you can identify which committee you think you want to be on, what kind of work you want to give, what kind of continuing support you want to give. You can do this. I'm not trying to babysit anybody. You have to pick up the mantle. Okay. You have to make a decision to want to do this. And sometimes it can't be about James Posey or some other old extraneous thing out here. It's about man, come on now. I'm just being honest with you. Don't lay that burden. That's how we get into trouble. This is about everybody get in here.
Don't get personal. That's all.
Everybody's got to get in here.
Yeah, it's not a personal thing. You're president of the NAACP. In fact, we had that note. We're getting ready to close. You did an excellent job, and I hope the viewing public understood where he was coming from and respond to him. Membership is the quickest way.
Membership is the quickest way. But listen, there's 3 M's.
Real quick, because I got 30 seconds.
Membership, mission. You got to know what our mission is, and movement. And we're on the move, Bruce. We're on the move.
We're on the move.
3 M's.
3 M's. I like it.
Membership, mission, and movement. Let's go.
I like it. Sounds good. James, it was a pleasure. Appreciate it. And you get out there and pick up some more.
I'm done for the day. I was disappointed I didn't run across no heroin needles.